7.3 Structure and function of not xylem, but this time phloem tissue. I told you that xylem and phloem, they work in unison, they work in comparison to each other, and they do support each other's functions heavily, and they are highly regulated within the plant's systems. First of all, how would you define the function of phloem tissue? Now, when it came to xylem, I gave you a specific way in which you should describe its function, the conduction of water. I will do the exact same thing for the function of phloem tissue. You have to specifically use this term translocation. Translocation of assimilates. Assimilates mean just simply organic compounds, and under these organic compounds there's a very specific assimilate that is being transported or translocated, and that is sucrose. And every single time translocation occurs, it's going to be from a place known as a source to a sink. From a source to a sink. And here's the deal. Now, when we talked about xylem and xylem vegetable and water transport, here's the deal. From the roots to the leaves, that's the pathway that is possible. Water is absorbed from the roots towards the stems through into the leaves, right? It cannot go down. It doesn't work both ways. It only goes up. It only goes in one direction. We can call it unidirectional movement. But when it comes to translocation, that is most certainly not the case. Translocation occurs both ways. Translocation occurs both ways. Like so. That's the key difference between the movement and conduction of water in xylem vessels and translocation in phloem tissues, the directional. Right. Xylem transport is unidirectional and phloem transport is bidirectional, or you can even say multidirectional. That's fine. If you observe the microscopic drawings I have attached, chances are you're not going to get one single thing. And that is perfectly fine, and that is what I wanted it to look like. Phloem is a mess. And I told you that whenever we're looking at photomicrographs, it's often going to be associated with xylem vessels as well. Xylem vessels along with phloem vessels make up the vascular network and the vascular bundle of the plant tissue, and that's why they are always interrelated and correlated. I am going to keep stressing on that point until you get the integrity of what I am actually talking about. Now, if you observe phloem under the microscope, this is what it looks like. You'll have this one main cell, and on the side of it you'll have another cell, and this one main cell will be connected to cells of the similar type via this pore mesh sort of structure, and that is exactly the same thing that you're going to observe here. This is that main cell, these are the main cells, and these are those side cells. The side cells are known as companion cells. Okay, the main cell is known as a sieve tube element with sieve pores and sieve plates. Now, I will not be explaining the function and structure of phloem tissue using this diagram. We're going to move off to the right. We're going to zoom in a little bit onto the canvas. I'm going to pick a nice green color, and here we will be talking about how exactly phloem will be structurally laid out. Let's get to drawing then. Right, I'm going to draw the exact same structure that I showed you on the diagrams, and I will have this picture right here on the left for reference. It's like this. First, you're going to have this. And then this is going to be connected like this using almost like this sieve structure. We call this a sieve structure with holes. And the exact same thing is going to be repeated. We're going to have a sieve structure on the next cell as well. And then that cell is going to extend like this. Nope, I need a straight line. Still not straight. Yep, like so. That's another straight line. And then of course we're going to have different types of cells lining these things. You will not need to know most of them. I will definitely label the ones you need. So we have a couple of cells lining that like so. And of course these are plant cells. So you do have a rather thick cell wall. I wouldn't call it a thick cell wall, but you're going to have a defined cell wall like so. The most important aspect of this is to differentiate things in contrast to xylem vessels. That we will talk about. And then these are the most important kinds of cells that are going to be associated with the sieve tube elements. They are quite long, actually, like this. They're going to be quite long cells, and they're going to have a nucleus, most certainly, and they're going to have some special organelles as well. So I'll just mark him down like this until we get to the labeling part. Right. Okay. So this is a sieve tube element cell. This is a sieve tube element cell. We're going to be talking about sieve tube elements. Just like xylem vessel elements, we have sieve tube elements, and this is the wall of it. Sieve tube elements wall. I'll get rid of that apostrophe. Wall made of. What is a plant cell wall going to be made out of? Cellulose. It will be made out of cellulose. And then these associated cells are called companion cells. These associated cells are known as companion cells. The thing is, when it comes to sieve tube elements or sieve tube cells, they don't have the required organelles. What does that mean? So major organelles. For example, major organelles include the nucleus, like nuclei, vacuoles are not present in the sieve tube elements. And so you would expect a nucleus, a huge nucleus like this, but it's not present. It's not present. Why? And cells are perforated. Perforated means has holes. Right here, do you see one cell is connected to the next cell via holes? So cells are perforated to maximize translocation. We're trying to obtain optimum translocation. So because of that, you're not going to have any major organelles. Now question, does the sieve tube element contain a cytoplasm? I mean, yes, you can. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail when it comes to this. There's a small aspect to this, but yes, they do have the cytoplasm though. It's the major cellular organelles that are missing. It's the major cellular organelles that are missing. Okay, and these are your sieve pores. Sieve pores. Right here, see? Pores, pores, pores. These are all the sieve pores. And the most important aspect of companion cells is they exactly do what their name tells you that they do. They are companion cells. They are going to provide metabolic aid. They're going to provide metabolic aid. Why do they have to provide metabolic aid? Because the sieve tube elements themselves don't have any important organelles like the nucleus, vacuoles, and any other things. They can't do anything on their own. Metabolic activity aid to sieve tube elements. Sieve tube elements as they have nuclei and other cell organelles like the rough endoplasmic reticulum and mitochondria and anything else. So I will do etc. like so. So just a touch up on all the functions of phloem. Phloem tissue is just adapted for the translocation of sucrose from a source to a sink, and this is the overall structure of phloem tissue.